I'm going to start going back about 10 years ago. I was using the Sharpie ink pen, believe it or not. It's permanent. I liked it because you can put watercolor over top of it, ink, marker, anything, and it doesn't smear, doesn't fade, nothing. So, but I stopped using it because recently they changed the point. Because before you were able to get really nice lines and everything like that, but now they changed the point on it where it's just, it's not as nice as before. Now let me show you some examples of that, some drawings I did with that years ago. So it was this one here I did with a Sharpie. And this is a little Sharpie pen, this guy right here. And if you're wanting the background, I just use like an ink wash and diluted in water. I just use some old brushes just to get that, and I'll use some masking fluid here that I use to cover up the area there, so I don't get wouldn't get any ink wash on the drawing here, right? So, whoops, well, that's not good. I'm off to a bad start here. Oh, that's okay. That's actually a good thing right here, because I did spray this drawing with a masking fluid, which was, I'm glad I did, because after dropping that little ink wash on there, I was able to wipe it off with a little tissue paper pretty easily. So, and here's another one here I did as well with the Sharpie. This one could be viewed at any angle, I guess, right? I think this is actually the bottom right here, if I remember correctly. I think some grass and some stones. Well, actually, I think it sits like this, but I'll just show it like this. And same thing, I used the masking fluid. Or did I? Yeah, I think I might have used it, or I might have just hand eyeballed it with a small brush with the background there, right? So, anyways, on to the next one, which I don't use as often, but I have, I tried out these Arteza. You can see that or not. Arteza, they're kind of like an acrylic marker. And basically what you do is you grab a scrap piece of paper here. This one's brand new. So you can see it's white. And you just push down on it like that. And it fills it up. And then pretty much like that. So. And with that, I was doing, I should say I did this with the acrylic markers here. But I also used a whole bunch of these guys right here. These are Arteza as well. And they're basically like a water ink brush pen. It's water-based ink, non-toxic. So pretty much you can just, they're like brushes really. You can see that or not. But these are really nice. I like these because they shade nicely and they're very vibrant. at the end of the video, I'll show you some books that written by a few authors that I've been, artists I should say, that I've been inspired by, and I'll show you that later at the end of the video. Now this one, the Pigma Micron PN, especially with the PN, it's kind of a hybrid ballpoint pen felt tip, I guess. It's about a it's about a 0.35, about a 0.3 equivalent. And I usually have them in threes. What I do is, this is my trick, is one starts to fade. So let's say this one's fading. I'll put a dot on it like that. And I'll use that for the faded one for like shading and thinner lines, things like that. So here's some examples here. I did this here with the Pigmas. So like I was using the faded ones for this ledger grass here and this area here on the hood of the car, the grain of the wood, and obviously the new ones, the fresh ones, I was using for the rest here. I should also mention these dark areas here, like the windows and the dark shadowed areas. I actually use it's a Japanese ink brush pen, which is refillable. Uses cartridges like that. So it's the Pentel. Sorry, it's Japan Pentel ink brush pens, refillable. They're nice. I mean, I just pop the cartridge in, and I've never had them explode or nothing on me. But I always, whenever I pop in a cartridge, I play it safe and I just do it away from anything and in like an empty drawer or something, right? So there's another one here I did. I don't do animals as often, but I'm trying to get back into that. This is a bit of a challenge here. It turned out pretty good, I think. So let me adjust my camera here. There we go, that's better. So you can see that there. And I'll put the link to the video down in the description for this one as well. So there's another one. Same idea. But I incorporated some ink wash right into the drawing as I was going. I don't do that very often, so it was more of an experiment. So and same thing here. The grassy area here first, and which can be tedious. I start in the left corner and work my way over. I mean right corner, sorry, and work my way over here. And I have a video about this one as well too. So on to the next one is the rOtring ink pens. And they come with a thing of ink. I got 2 of them. And they come in sizes 20, 0.20, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.5, but this one's actually a 0.35 because I had to replace it. For some reason, the 0.3s clog a lot. These are the technical Isograph pens commonly used with drafting. Back in the day when everything was done by hand. They've been around a long time. I think they've been around since like the 60s. But they have a nice line, very, very thin, consistent line quality. You gotta do a little shaking. You hear that sound, that means that it's flowing nicely. If you don't hear that sound, that means it's clogged. But when they get clogged, that's a real problem. And you gotta be careful how you open them up too to clean them out, because there's a tiny little wire that goes down the middle there, and if you break that wire, that's it. You just got to replace the whole pen. But they're about $30–40 Canadian to replace, so that's no big deal. What I do is if I'm not using them for a while, I'll just open them up every 3 days and just shake them a little bit and just draw some random lines, just to get the dry ink out of the end there, just so there's no drying up with it. So I'll show you some examples for this. I just did this one recently. I find them when you draw with the rOtring technical pens, they're more, it's like digital. So it's like these are digital and this is analog. But I think both have really good quality. I like, you can see the difference in them, but you can't say which one is better because they're both awesome in their own way. So, but I think I'm gonna use the rOtring for a while. Although several months ago, when I was getting a little bit ticked off with them clogging on me, and I finally figured out how to keep them clean, I got frustrated and said, "Oh, I'm never going to use a rOtring again." Well, that's not true. I didn't mean that. So this one was a fun challenge here. I did use a photo reference for this one. Actually, I kind of do. I did take a picture of a building, and I just used its architecture and I just made it look abandoned. But anyways, I did take a picture of this. Standing in the forest, looking up at the tree, and all the bark and everything. And again, I'll put the video link down in the description. And this one, another one here too. It's a big one here. This one's a 18 by 24, or sort of big, so it doesn't really fit in the whole camera view. But again, this is where you really take advantage of the 0.5, the 0.3, and the 0.2. I was flipping back and forth between all of them, right? So there's obviously the 0.2 here with the grain of the wood, and then the 0.5, and I think these are the 0.3s here, and then back to 0.2, and I was using that old ink brush here for these dark areas, so I'm not like, it's a little more efficient to just fill in these areas with the ink brush. And it's the same type of ink I find anyways, so. Oh yeah, here's one more here. I took this was a photo reference as well. I did this. So this is actually related to the other one where I did the forest. Obviously I'm staying in the forest, and this one here I'm looking up at the tree. So always use photo reference. Everyone does. Even the best artists, they all use photo references. So let me tell you, just going to show you some books that I would recommend. Oh, actually, more importantly, I should say this is the paper I use here. And it's the Strathmore Watercolor cold press, and I believe it's 400 series. If you can see that, 400 series, acid-free, heavyweight, wet media, blah blah blah. But that might just be me, but I like using the watercolor paper. This is nice thick stuff. You can feel it, right? It's almost about the same thickness as Bristol board, but I really like the texture of it for the ink drawings. But you gotta be very careful. Like the Sharpie does not like this stuff, but the Pigma Micron and the rOtring are perfect for this paper. It doesn't bleed unless you just hold your pen on it. It will, but the Sharpies, stay away from the Strathmore with the Sharpies because it's gonna bleed like crazy. So maybe use like a Bristol type paper if you're gonna use the Sharpies. Oh yeah, so onto the books that I was gonna show you. And this one I got, Drawing Nature. I can't remember where I got this one. Oh yeah, I got it at the Michael's art store, if I remember correctly, years ago. So it's more pencil, but it gives you an idea about like shading and all that, right? So some tool exercises. You know, these photos are kind of old, but I think they threw them in like this. Looks like this is probably from the 60s, these photos, and they just recycled the photos into this booklet. Different techniques here. I think I learned how to draw rocks and trees in this booklet here. Shading techniques. So this is good for pencil. So like if you have a pencil set, I would recommend this one here. So, oops, if I can get it open. Wow, it's a pencil set I got here. These are technical pens, actual pencils, and believe it or not, they do come in different shades: 2H, HB, and 2B, technical, which is uncommon, but they have different leads here and everything like that. So I don't use pencil a lot, but kind of like to get more into pencil, I think, at some point. But the smudging is always a concern of mine. So. Oh yeah, just back to this mold. It's just basically a lesson booklet. You can probably pick up this book for how much? I think I paid like $20 for it. That was 10, 15 years ago. And then Claudia niece, whatever. And she uses the rOtring technical pens. There's what's her name? Where are the pens? But she has different lessons for hatching, contrast, texture, things like that, right? This is probably an ink wash drawing more than anything, really. And then some samples here. So I have my own shading style. I don't do cross-hatching really. I treat my ink pens like almost like pencils. I can get to the point now where I can actually shade with my ink pens, especially when I use the Pigmas, the PNs, specifically the PNs. I find you can treat them almost like a pencil. You just keep the ones that are about to fade out and just use those for shading. Some nice drawing here. So nice house drawing. These pens are used by architects a lot. This is probably, I don't know if she did this or not. Oh yeah, she did. She signed it. It says NICE. So I wonder maybe if she's a draftsperson, architect. It was her trade. Some stippling. I like this. This is nice here. I think I remember this one. This is the one that, this particular drawing here was the one that just kicked me into high gear. You can see a lot of my style in this one here that I adapted. It almost looks like an old photo, but it's an ink drawing. This is so well done. Just with the shadow and the texture and everything, it made it look like an old photo. Cityscape. I tried doing like that. Tried doing one of these one time, and I gave up. It's hard because you want everything to be accurate, right? Animals and animal parts. No, it was $24 or $25 Canadian. And there's another one, Claudia Nice. Oh, Hamilton Public Library. That's a long story, but this book is, it's 1998. So this book is 26 years overdue. Probably cheaper for me just to buy them a new book. I don't know what happened, but oh, because when I was in college back in the day, I lived in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and I probably took out this book, forgot about it, and I moved away from Hamilton. I forgot I had it, but I kept it. My wife saw this and she's commented on this. So a lot of ink wash samples in here as well. So line techniques. I'm not sure if this is an older version or a newer version of the other one by Claudia Nice. It's a nice reflection sample here. Water, that's always difficult, water. I don't do water too often. I just find it a bit, usually I'll just do reflections. There. So that's pretty much it. So hope I didn't bore you, and I hope you got something out of this, and thank you for watching my video, and that's pretty much it. Where all my drawings come. Oh, I should probably mention this. My glove. It's all it is a tattoo sleeve, and I put a hole in it for my thumb, and I just wear it like that, and I can just right over top of my drawing. And I do it for two different reasons: just so I don't smear the ink from my hand or whatever. And I'm a bit self-conscious because I'm kind of a little bit hairy on my arms, so I'm a bit self-conscious about that. So it's kind of another reason why I wear the sleeve. And give something people to talk about, because people talk about this several times. And anyways, that's all. Thank you very much, and bye for now.